Hello. Hello. Today we will continue with the same topic. Last time we had stopped or we have started with professional secrecy, professional secrets, and privileged communication. We will continue with the same topic, professional secrets. So, professional secrets, we have seen there are so many things regarding information of the patient while case taking or while examining the patient. So many private things are there which the doctor comes to know as during case taking or asking the patient some important questions regarding his family background and so many things. So whatever these things the doctor comes to know while doing the clinical examination and during the case taking, these things should not be disclosed to anyone. It should be kept highly confidential. The condition, this legal condition is called as professional secrets or professional secrecy. So professional secrecy is one which a doctor comes to know in his professional capacity. He should not disclose all these things which he has learnt in confidence from his patient or found on examination or noticed in privacy during discussing with the patient. And this is a moral obligation as well as legal, because if you don't follow the rules regarding professional secrecy, the patient can sue you and you will have to face lots of legal things or legal procedures. So this is moral obligation as well as legal. Now I think we have studied these five heads of under which condition this professional secrecy can be broken. The condition is called as privileged communication. So, and I will just revise. Under certain circumstances, a doctor may be justified in disclosing the information about his patient. So under certain circumstances, doctor can disclose these private things about the patient, and these conditions, this thing is called as privileged communication. So it is the communication made by doctor to the proper authority who has corresponding legal, social as well as moral duties to protect the public. So a doctor can disclose the private conditions or private things of the patient as a witness in the court of law when the doctor is directed to do so by the court or by the judge. So doctor will have to disclose these things in front of the court. Then moral or social duty, that we will see one by one. To safeguard doctor's one interest, responsibilities in criminal matters. In criminal medical legal case, you cannot hide some things from court or from the society, and certain other cases. So we will see one by one. So what these 5 points we have seen, so we will see one by one under which circumstances, under which conditions we can go for privileged communication where you can disclose the information about the patient. So first, in the court of law, if the doctor fails to give information, it can be considered as contempt of court. Means for any medical legal issue, for any medical legal case, the doctor has been made to stand in front of the court as expert witness, and doctor has been asked some questions by the lawyer or by the court or by the judge. The doctor is supposed to answer all these questions, and if doctor is requested to answer or requested to tell those things which have been kept confidential till that time by the doctor, if these things have been asked by the court, the doctor should answer these questions, taking or keeping aside the professional secrecy. And if doctor fails to give the information, it can be considered as contempt of court. What is by contempt of court? कोर्टाचा अवमान. सर मग ते डॉक्टरवरच केस दाखल होऊ शकते की तुम्ही कोर्टापासून माहिती लपवून ठेवली किंवा कोर्टाचा अवमान केला म्हणून. And it should not be voluntarily. The doctor should, even if the doctor is standing as an expert witness in the court, doctor himself should not disclose these conditions unless they have been asked by someone or by the judge in the court, or they are very necessary for the conduction of that particular case. So it should not be told voluntarily, only on the request of court. Then secondly, moral or social duty, as a moral or social duty. Just I explain it with a few examples. If the patient is having any chancre or open tuberculosis, chancre or chancre means the patient can have some venereal disease, and the patient is having some ulceration or the chancroid growth on his genitalia, or if the patient is a case of open tuberculosis, the person cannot work in any restaurant or to any public place. He cannot serve the drinks, because what can happen if you hide this particular thing, if you hide this disease, what will happen, that person who is having this disease like open tuberculosis or this chancre, that person will work as a carrier, that person will work as a medium for spread of the disease in the community. That's why that person should not be allowed to serve or to work in the restaurant, in the hotel like this. And that's why such a thing should not be kept confidential. It should be told to the society, so that that person will not work as a carrier in the society. This is the social duty. Then bus driver with hypertension. If any bus driver is come to, any person who is to be appointed as bus driver just for medical checkup, as a fitness certificate, that a person has gone to the medical officer, and the doctor has found that the person is having hypertension, or that particular person is found to be diabetic on his routine medical examination. What can happen, you cannot appoint such a person with hypertension or diabetes mellitus as a bus driver, because if any problem happens to this person while driving the car or while driving the bus, it will land so many passengers in the bus in very danger condition. That's why any bus driver, if undergoes the medical checkup, routine medical checkup for his appointment, and if he is found to have hypertensive or diabetic, should be written as it is. It should not be hidden, or it should be disclosed to the concerned authority. Same thing about engine driver, railway driver, engine driver or railway. If he is color blind or epileptic, it should be informed to the authority. It should not be hidden. In case of venereal disease, if the patient is having venereal disease, it should not be hidden. Now you know, if any person wants to go to any swimming pool regularly, wants to do the swimming, it should, and he goes to the medical officer for getting the fitness for swimming. If he is having, if that person is found to have venereal disease, it should not be hidden. It should be disclosed or written on the his certificate, because such a person with venereal disease cannot be allowed to swim, because he will help to spread the disease in the community or the people who are sharing the swimming pool with him. Then AIDS patient, if any person is found to be HIV positive or AIDS patient, it should be told to his partner, his or her partner, so that that person will take care. Then doctor patient relationship becomes secondary here. In these conditions, the first priority should be to the health of the society. And as we have seen, doctor patient relationship, what I have told you in the previous topic, in professional secrecy you cannot disclose the private things of the patient, but under these circumstances, on moral or social duty, you are supposed to disclose such disease conditions, because that will take care of the rest of the society. The society will be protected from the subsequent exposure that can occur from that particular person. So here the doctor patient relationship now becomes secondary. You will have to first take the care of society. Then a third point is this privileged communication can take place in case of doctor's own interest, that is notifying the births, deaths, communicable diseases or danger to the public, that is in case of food poisoning from any hotel or contaminated drinking water. If it has been seen that in the periphery of the OPD or village or area where you are practicing, in that area you get so many patients of loose motions, vomiting, and that is because of consumption of contaminated food or contaminated drinking water, and you are getting large number of patients of that poisoning. You should inform it to the local authority so that local authority will take care of that contamination, will stop the people from consuming that contaminated food or contaminated water from that particular source, and rest of the society will be protected. And if you hide it, what will happen? The number of patients will go on increasing for the sake of your business. किंवा चला फूड पॉयझनिंग होतं आहे किंवा कंटॅमिनेटेड वॉटर पिल्यामुळे लोकांना जुलाब उलट्या होत आहेत, माझे पेशंट वाढतील, मला खूप पेशंट मिळतील, मला खूप पैसे मिळतील, आणि म्हणून जर तुम्ही लपून ठेवलं, सो दॅट कॅन कॉज सम लिगल प्रॉब्लेम्स. इट शुड नॉट बी हिडन और इट शुड बी disclosed to the nearby concerned authority. They will prevent the exposure of rest of the society to that particular contaminated food or contaminated water. So notifying the birth, तुमच्या दवाखान्यामध्ये एखादा जन्म झाला आहे आणि तो तुम्ही लपून ठेवला आहे, असं करता येणार नाही. यू विल हॅव टू इन्फॉर्म इट टू द नियरबाय अथॉरिटी फॉर बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट. Then death, you cannot even hide any death. Death should also be reported to the nearby governing authority. Same with the communicable disease, like now here particularly about the corona, which is the right now pandemic is going on. So in case of corona, if you get any suspected case of corona, it should be informed to the nearby government hospital so that its record will be kept, that person will be isolated, and further care will be taken so that the subsequent spread in the community will be prevented. Now next is in criminal cases. In case of criminal cases, say for example any patient has been brought to your hospital with firearm injury or stabble, म्हणजे तुम्हाला क्लिअर कट डोळ्यांनी दिसते की याला कोणीतरी चाकू मारलेली आहे किंवा गोळी मारलेली, ही गोळीची जखम दिसते. इट शुड नॉट बी हिडन. इन केस ऑफ क्रिमिनल केसेस की जिथे पेशंटला कोणीतरी मारले, मग तो चाकू असेल किंवा दुसऱ्या कुठल्या हाताने मारलेला असेल आणि तुम्हाला दिसते की हे ॲक्सिडेंटची ऊण नाही आहे, याला नक्की कोणीतरी मारलेलं आहे, कोणीतरी याच्यावर हल्ला केलेला आहे, यू कॅनॉट हाईड इट. इट शुड बी इन्फॉर्म टू द, यू स्टार्ट युअर ट्रीटमेंट इमिडिएटली टू सेव्ह द लाईफ ऑफ द पेशंट, बट इट शुड बी इन्फॉर्म टू द nearby police station. So you will have to go for inform. You should immediately go to inform or send your staff or at least call to the police station so that the police will come and perform the subsequent investigation. Then attempted suicide. If any case comes to your hospital with attempted suicide, attempted suicideच्या बाबतीत एक गोष्ट असते, नातेवाईकांची इच्छा असते, म्हणजे आपल्या कुटुंबाचं किंवा आपलं नाव खराब व्हायला नको म्हणून नातेवाईक टाळतात की बाबा नको डॉक्टर, तुम्ही ट्रीटमेंट चालू करा, काही कुणाला सांगू नका. बट इन केस ऑफ अटेम्प्टेड सुसाईड यू शुड इन्फॉर्म इट टू द पोलीस. मग लेट द पोलीस कम, तुम्ही तुमची ट्रीटमेंट चालू ठेवा, पण पोलिसांना येऊ द्या, त्यांना त्यांची ॲक्शन घेऊ द्या, त्यांना त्यांची जबाब नोंदणी वगैरे जे काय असेल, लेट देम कंप्लीट देअर प्रोसिजर. सो इन केस ऑफ अटेम्प्टेड सुसाईड यू शुड इन्फॉर्म इट टू द पोलीस ऑथॉरिटी. सेल्फ इन्फ्लिक्टेड ॲबॉर्शन, म्हणजे ॲबॉर्शन करण्यासाठी घरच्या घरी किंवा कोणीतरी काहीतरी उद्योग केले असतील. देर आर सो मेनी ॲबॉर्टिफिशियंट ड्रग्ज वी हॅव सीन इन टॉक्सिकोलॉजी. इफ दिस ड्रग्ज आर यूज्ड और बाय सम criminal ways, if the abortion has been attempted, always inform it to the police. Then victim of rape or seriously assaulted person. विक्टीम ऑफ रेप म्हणजे असे होऊ शकतं की एखाद्या मुलीवर, एखाद्या स्त्रीवर रेप झाला आहे अँड शी हॅज कम टू हॉस्पिटल और शी हॅज बीन ब्रॉड टू द हॉस्पिटल. एनकरेज हर टू गो टू द पोलीस. आता इथे पण बदनामी होईल, नाव खराब होईल, माझ्या कुटुंबाचं नाव खराब होईल, यामुळे लोक पुढे यायला घाबरतात किंवा ती मुलगी कुठे जबाब द्यायला जात नाही. तर अशा विक्टीमला, विक्टीम ऑफ द रेप ॲज वेल ॲज सिरियसली असल्टेड पर्सन, ज्याला खूपच जास्त प्रमाणात मारलेले आणि सिरियस इंजुरी झालेल्या आहेत, ते घाबरलेले असतात. तर ह्या लोकांनासुद्धा एनकरेज देम टू गो टू द पोलीस अँड इफ दे आर नॉट विलिंग यू इन्फॉर्म टू द police authority. Then other cases like I'll just give a few examples. Servant sent by his master for medical exam, medical checkup. सर्वंट सेंट बाय मास्टर. असं होतं ना, आपल्या घरी कोणीतरी एखादा माणूस नवीन आला आहे स्टाफ कामासाठी, घरकामासाठी, झाडून पुसून घेण्यासाठी वगैरे, घरात एखादा नोकर कामासाठी आला आहे, तर तो मालक रिक्वेस्ट करू शकतो की नाही, मला तुझी पहिली मेडिकल चेकअप करायची, तुला काय आजार आहे का ते बघू दे मला, तरच मी तुला ठेवेल. सो तर त्याचा जो काही रिपोर्ट येईल, मग त्याला दुसरा कुठला आजार आहे का, काही कम्युनिकेबल डिसीज आहे का, दॅट शुड बी इन्फॉर्म ओनली टू द मास्टर. मग दॅट विल कम अंडर फिटनेस ऑफ वर्क, तो त्या कामासाठी फिट आहे की नाही. देन सेकंडली फॉर नेसेसरी फॉर लीव, म्हणजे असंही होऊ शकतं की माझं हे दुखतं आहे, माझं ते दुखतं आहे, मला खूप त्रास होतो आहे, मला एक आठवड्याची सुट्टी पाहिजे, तर तो मास्टर म्हणजे तो मालक जो आहे, घरमालक, त्या कामगाराला पाठवू शकतो डॉक्टरांकडे त्याचा चेकअपसाठी, खरोखर याला त्रास आहे की नाही किंवा त्याला काही डिसॅबिलिटी आहे का नाही, अँड दॅट शुड बी इन्फॉर्म ओनली टू द मास्टर. सो सर्वंट सेंट बाय हिज मास्टर फॉर मेडिकल एक्झामिनेशन, whatever the result is that should be told only to the master. देन हायपरटेन्शन फाउंड ऑन एक्झामिनेशन, म्हणजे हायपरटेन्शनचे बऱ्याच वेळा काही कंप्लेंट नसतात पेशंटला. आपण रुटीन चेकअप जस्ट पेशंटची तपासणी करताना जर तुम्हाला ब्लड प्रेशर जास्त दिसलं, दॅट शुड बी इन्फॉर्म टू द दॅट पेशंट, किंवा तुमचं ब्लड प्रेशर जास्त आहे. सो इट शुड ऑल्सो बी टोल्ड टू द पेशंट. Then other inquiries like doctor should not answer queries by insurance company or solicitor about the his patient without his consent, without patient's consent. This is again very important. The doctor should not answer the queries by insurance company. इन्शुरन्सचा क्लेम घेताना किंवा इन्शुरन्स कंपनीची पॉलिसी घेताना फिटनेसबद्दल जर इन्शुरन्स कंपनीच्या माणसाने, ऑफिशियलनी किंवा एजंटने डॉक्टरला त्या पेशंटबद्दल किंवा त्या क्लेम घेणाऱ्या माणसाबद्दल जर काही माहिती विचारली, दॅट शुड नॉट बी शेअर्ड विदाउट द पेशंट्स कन्सेंट. तर पेशंटची परवानगी असेल तरच तुम्ही ती सगळी माहिती हेल्थ पॉलिसीच्या त्या कंपनीच्या माणसाला देऊ शकता. अँड अनदर व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट इश्यू इज cause of death should be answered should not be answered without consent of close relatives. म्हणजे आता समजा डेथ सर्टिफिकेट देत आहे तुम्ही, एखादा माणूस मेल आहे, डेथ सर्टिफिकेट देताना तो कॉज ऑफ द डेथ शुड नॉट बी आन्सर्ड विदाउट कन्सेंट ऑफ क्लोज रिलेटिव्ह. ती केस कुठे कोर्टात किंवा दुसरीकडे कुठे तुम्ही त्याच्याबद्दल डिस्कस करत असाल तर त्या माणसाचा मृत्यू कशामुळे झाला आहे हे नातेवाईकांच्या परवानगीशिवाय तुम्हाला कुठेही डिस्क्लोज करता येणार नाही. सो दीज आर द सम एक्झाम्पल. सो दीज आर द 5 हेड्स, दीज आर द 5 डिफरंट कॉजेस और कंडिशन्स और circumstances where you can break the rule of this professional secrecy and what we call it as privileged communications. When in the court of law, when the question has been asked in the court of law about the patient, about the private things of the patient, it should be disclosed in front of the court. Then moral or social duty, if any patient is having chancre, any venereal disease or open tuberculosis, such a person should not be allowed to work in the hotel or any restaurant, should not come in contact with the food as well as the drinks or even water. That's why it should be informed. Then bus driver, engine driver, if they are having any disease which can create problem for them to drive the bus or the railway, they should be it should be informed on their fitness card or on their health card, so that will come to know to the authority, and they will decide whether the duty of driving should be given to them or not. Then AIDS patient should be informed to his close relatives and to the partner of the patient. In doctor's own interest, notifying the births and death and communicable diseases. Then in criminal cases, in case of all the criminal cases like firearm injury, stab injury, it should not be hidden. Attempted suicide should be informed to the police. Self-inflicted abortion, and if there is any victim of rape or seriously assaulted person, if they are not willing to go to the police station, you encourage them to inform to the police station. And other cases I have given you the example, servant or hypertension, examine or routine clinical examination, and then regarding the health insurance policies checkup, and death, cause of the death. So this is all about privileged communication. Privileged communication is asked as a 5-mark short note. So when under which condition the privileged communication is allowed or is justifiable, that you will have to write down in detail. So these are the 5 headings under that. Now we'll go to the next very important and big topic, professional negligence. Professional negligence is also asked as a 5-mark short note. There are also a few 2-mark questions are there. I will tell you when we will come across them. So professional negligence, निष्काळजीपणा. जर एखाद्या डॉक्टरकडून काही निष्काळजीपणा झाला ज्याच्यामुळे पेशंटच्या जीविताला धोका झाला किंवा एखादा पेशंट एक्सपायर झाला, तर इट कॅन लँड दॅट डॉक्टर ॲज वेल एज टू दॅट हॉस्पिटल इन टू द लीगल प्रॉब्लेम्स. सो व्हॉट इज प्रोफेशनल निग्लिजन्स? अंडर प्रोफेशनल निग्लिजन्स 2 things come. First is act of omission. Act of omission is doing omission टू डू समथिंग विच अ रिजनेबल मॅन वूड डू. म्हणजे ओमिशन म्हणजे जे तुम्ही ट्रीटमेंटमध्ये करायला पाहिजे ते जर केलं नाही. म्हणजे आता समजा जस्ट टेल यू एक्झाम्पल, एखादा माणूस ॲक्सिडेंटची केस आली आहे, त्याला कुठेतरी फ्रॅक्चर सस्पेक्टेड आहे, पण तुम्ही एक्सरे केला नाही, दॅट विल कम ॲज that will come under act of omission, means you have omitted to do something that is very necessary for the diagnosis and treatment of the patient. म्हणजे पेशंटचं निदान होण्यासाठी किंवा पेशंटला बरं वाटण्यासाठी, त्याचा आजार बरा होण्यासाठी जी गरजेची गोष्ट आहे ती जर तुम्ही केली नाही, that is act of omission, because you have omitted something. And second, exactly opposite to that, is act of commission, doing something which a reasonable man would not do. म्हणजे अशी एखादी गोष्ट की जी पेशंटच्या ट्रीटमेंटमध्ये, पेशंटच्या उपचारामध्ये तुम्ही नाही करायला पाहिजे पण ती तुम्ही केली, that will be that is considered as act of commission. Got the difference? Act of omission म्हणजे अशी एखादी गोष्ट आहे की जी पेशंटच्या ट्रीटमेंटसाठी केली पाहिजे पण ती जर तुम्ही केली नाही, यू हॅव ओमिटेड दॅट पर्टिक्युलर थिंग, is called as act of omission. And act of commission, doing something which a reasonable man would not do. म्हणजे अशी एखादी गोष्ट की जी नाही केली पाहिजे पेशंटच्या उपचारामध्ये, ती जर तुम्ही केली, चुकून असेल किंवा वॉट एव्हर मे बी द कॉज, it is considered as act of commission. It is asked as a 2-mark question, either act of omission or act of commission, and it is to be mentioned with 1 or 2 examples. Then professional negligence, we will go to the heading. What is professional negligence? Professional negligence, it is also asked as a 2-mark question as a definition. So professional negligence is defined as lack of reasonable care. पेशंट तुमच्याकडे आल्यानंतर त्याला जी काळजी तुम्ही त्याची घेतली पाहिजे, त्याला जी व्यवस्थित ट्रीटमेंट दिली पाहिजे, त्याच्यामध्ये जर काही दुर्लक्ष झालं तुमच्याकडून किंवा काही चूक झाली, सो प्रोफेशनल निग्लिजन्स इज डिफाइंड ॲज लॅक ऑफ रिजनेबल केअर or skill or willful negligence on the part of medical practitioner in the treatment of patient, की ज्याच्यामुळे वेअर बाय द हेल्थ ऑर लाईफ ऑफ द पेशंट इन डेंजर. मग त्याचा काही त्रास होऊ शकतो, त्याचा आजार बळा होऊ शकतो, काही कॉम्प्लिकेशन्स होऊ शकतात, अँड इन सम सिव्हिअर मिस्टेक्स इट कॅन इवन लीड टू death of the patient. So you can just write this same, you will have to make it by heart. Professional negligence is lack of reasonable care or skill or willful negligence on the part of a doctor in the treatment of a patient whereby health or life of the patient is endangered. म्हणजे डॉक्टरकडून त्याच्या उपचारामध्ये, निदानामध्ये किंवा उपचारामध्ये मग ती विलफुल असेल किंवा अननोईंगली असेल, डॉक्टरकडून झालेली ही जी चूक की ज्याच्यामुळे पेशंटच्या आरोग्याला किंवा इवन जीवितालाही धोका निर्माण होऊ शकतो. नाव यू नो देर आर नो स्टँडर्ड्स फॉर मेडिकल केअर, किंवा सर्दी खोकल्याच्या पेशंटलाही अशीच ट्रीटमेंट दिली पाहिजे, हार्ट अटॅकच्या पेशंटला अशीच ट्रीटमेंट दिली पाहिजे, किंवा एखाद्या सिरियस पेशंटला एका ठराविक क्रायटेरियानेच ट्रीटमेंट दिली पाहिजे, असं आपल्याकडे काय मॅथमॅटिक्स किंवा इंजिनिअरिंगसारखं नाही आहे. सो इट व्हेरीज फ्रॉम डॉक्टर टू डॉक्टर, इट व्हेरीज फ्रॉम पेशंट टू पेशंट. सो देर आर नो स्टँडर्ड्स फॉर मेडिकल केअर अँड एरर इन द डायग्नोसिस ऑर ट्रीटमेंट इज नॉट निग्लिजन्स. म्हणजे तुम्ही पेशंटचं निदान करताना जर तुमची काही चूक झाली किंवा उपचार करताना जर तुमची काही चूक झाली, provided all that treatment is done with proper skill and care, will not be considered as negligence. So error in the diagnosis or treatment is not considered as negligence, but when the proper skill and care have been exercised. म्हणजे तुम्ही सगळं ज्ञान वापरून, सगळे कुशलता, स्किल वापरून तुम्ही त्या पेशंटची ट्रीटमेंट करताय आणि त्याच्यातून जर पेशंटच्या जीविताला काही धोका झाला, त्याच्या आरोग्याला काही धोका झाला, इट विल नॉट बी कन्सिडर्ड ॲज निग्लिजन्स, कारण तुम्ही तिथे तुमचं पूर्ण ज्ञान वापरलेलं आहे. अ स्पेशलिस्ट माइट बी हेल्ड निग्लिजंट इन द ट्रीटमेंट when given by when same treatment is given by the general practitioner could not be regarded as satisfactory. A specialist, I'll just give you one example to explain this particular point. A specialist might be held negligent in the treatment when given by a general practitioner could be regarded as satisfactory. I tell you one very simple example. Say for example, now I am doing practice, or I am practicing in a very small village which is remote, even the roads are also not proper. I am practicing, I have got my clinic, a small clinic where I do not admit the patient and all. So I am just running a OPD. I am practicing in a rural area where I get a patient of, say for example, suspected heart attack, acute myocardial infarction. I get some suspected case of ischemia or acute myocardial infarction. What I can do in such a periphery, in such a small village, I will just give a few thrombolytic medicines like a tablet aspirin or clopidogrel. All these are allopathic medicines, and what I will advise, immediately shift the patient to Narayangao or to the big hospital where the proper care will be taken. So am I negligent here? No. It's just I'm telling you, giving you the example for to explain this particular line. A specialist might be held negligent, but not a general practitioner. Why? If I give clopidogrel or aspirin as a thrombolytic treatment and send the patient immediately to Narayangao or to the big hospital, I will not be considered negligent. But if such a patient in a big hospital in Narayangao or in towards some specialist goes, the same patient goes to any hospital, a big hospital with all the facilities in the Narayangao, the doctor, that MD medicine or whoever that cardiologist or that physician is there, he will give him a few tablets of clopidogrel or aspirin and will ask the patient to go to Pune. You are getting the difference, that physician is asking that patient or relatives to shift the patient to Pune by just giving him some thrombolytic treatment, just what I had given in the peripheral OPD. Is that doctor negligent? Yes, he is negligent. So what the doctor is supposed to do, because he is having hospital, he is having all the facilities, he should attend the patient, he give him all the emergency medications, should relieve his acute complaint, should take care of his heart, should give him all the primary treatment, and then after settling the patient should refer. If he thinks the patient cannot be treated here, then the patient is to be sent to the Pune or to the even bigger institute. Got the difference? If any patient of ischemic heart disease is referred by me to the Narayangao with very simple some thrombolytic medicines like clopidogrel or aspirin, I am not negligent. But if such a treatment is given by any specialist in the Narayangao and the patient has been shifted, advised to be shifted to the Pune, that doctor will be considered as negligent. So this is the difference. Another important thing is whether that thing has happened in the urban or rural area, and whether the center is near population or remote. The same thing which I gave you example. If I refer the patient from remote area to Narayangao, and if same patient from Narayangao is referred to the Pune. So whether you are practicing in urban or rural area, and whether the center is near population or remote. So that is these things will be taken into consideration while blaming any doctor as negligent. Now, in professional negligence, another very important term comes. It is asked as a 2-mark question. What is damage? So damage due to negligence can be physical, mental or financial. म्हणजे डॉक्टरांच्या दुर्लक्षामुळे किंवा उपचारामधल्या चुकीमुळे that patient or relatives will suffer the damage. So the patient will suffer the damage फिजिकली, म्हणजे त्याचा एखादा अवयव जाऊ शकतो किंवा त्याचा आजार बळावल्यामुळे अजून काही त्याला कॉम्प्लिकेशन्स होऊ शकतात, अँड इट विल कॉज फिजिकल डॅमेज टू द पेशंट. देन आजार बळावल्यामुळे आणि हे सगळे प्रॉब्लेम झाल्यामुळे द मेंटल कंडिशन ऑफ द पेशंट अँड हिज फॅमिली विल ऑल्सो बी डिस्टर्ब. सो डॅमेज विल बी फिजिकल, डॅमेज विल बी ऑन मेंटल लेवल ॲज वेल ॲज फायनान्शियल. म्हणजे 10-20 हजारामध्ये बरा होणारा आजार डॉक्टरांच्या दुर्लक्षामुळे इट विल बिकम वर्स, द कंडिशन ऑफ द पेशंट विल बिकम वर्स, अँड द पेशंट अँड हिज रिलेटिव्स विल नीड टू स्पेड more amount of money, and that will cause financial damage also. So physical, because of worsening of the disease, mental because of the tensions and all these things, and financial because of worsening of the disease will cause increased financial burden on the family. Then it will also lead to loss of present and future earning power. आजार बळावला आहे, जिथे आठवड्याभरात पेशंट घरी जायला पाहिजे होता, डिस्चार्ज होऊन तिथे पेशंटला महिनाभर दवाखान्यामध्ये राहायला लागलं, त्याच्यामुळे काय होणार, इट विल कॉज प्रेझेंट अँड फ्युचर अर्निंग पॉवर. त्याला कामावर जाता येणार नाही, त्याची नोकरी धंदा काय असेल ते करता येणार नाही. सो लॉस ऑफ प्रेझेंट अँड फ्युचर अर्निंग पॉवर ऑफ द पेशंट अँड ॲक्च्युअल मेडिकल अँड सर्जिकल केअर कॉस्ट. जस्ट आय टोल्ड यू, 10-20 हजारामध्ये बरा होणारा आजार जर 1 लाखापर्यंत गेला डॉक्टरांच्या दुर्लक्षामुळे किंवा नेग्लिजन्समुळे, दॅट विल अगेन विल बी अ बिग लॉस. सो ॲक्च्युअल मेडिकल अँड सर्जिकल केअर कॉस्ट will also be considered as damage. And importantly, reduction in quality of life. Because of negligence, if the patient becomes deaf, if the patient becomes blind, or any other serious injury has occurred to the vital organs, the quality of the life of the patient for the rest of the life will be lowered. So reduction in the quality of the life in the form of lameness, deafness, blindness, now depending upon which organ or which part of the body has been affected because of negligence. To prove the negligence, it should be proved that आता कोर्टामध्ये केस उभी राहिली, समजा एखाद्या पेशंटनी किंवा नातेवाईकांनी एखाद्या डॉक्टर विरोधात, एखाद्या हॉस्पिटल विरोधात कोर्टामध्ये केस लावली, तर यू विल हॅव टू प्रूव्ह दॅट पेशंट्स अँड हिज रिलेटिव्स अँड देअर ॲडव्होकेट विल हॅव टू प्रूव्ह द negligence, and to prove the negligence they will have to prove that the doctor owed him a duty conform to a particular standard of conduct. म्हणजे पेशंटला ॲडमिट केल्यानंतर जी काही व्यवस्थित ट्रीटमेंट द्यायला पाहिजे, द डॉक्टर ओड हिम अ ड्युटी कन्फर्म टू अ पर्टिक्युलर स्टँडर्ड ऑफ कंडक्ट. द डॉक्टर हॅज ब्रीच्ड दॅट ड्युटी. म्हणजे जे काही ठरलं होतं की हां तुमचा पेशंट ॲडमिट करा, त्याच्या आपण ह्या तपासण्या करू, नंतर त्याचं असं ऑपरेशन करू, एवढ्या दिवसामध्ये आम्ही पेशंटला डिस्चार्ज करू, एवढं सगळं समजून सांगितल्यानंतर पण जर पेशंटला सांगितल्याप्रमाणे किंवा ती जी काय कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट ठरलेलं असतं, इम्प्लाइड कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट असतं डॉक्टर आणि पेशंटचं, इफ इट इज नॉट फॉलोड, व्हॉट वी कॉल इट एज ब्रीच म्हणजे तुम्ही ते कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट ब्रेक केलं असेल. द डॉक्टर हॅज ब्रीच्ड दॅट ड्युटी, देन पेशंट सफर्ड द ॲक्च्युअल डॅमेज. पेशंटला मेंटल, फिजिकल, फायनान्शियल जो काय डॅमेज झाला, पेशंट हॅज ॲक्च्युअली सफर्ड द डॅमेज बिकॉज ऑफ निग्लिजन्स, दॅट इज टू बी प्रूव्ड इन द कोर्ट. अँड डॉक्टर्स कंडक्ट वॉज डायरेक्ट ऑर प्रॉक्सिमल कॉज ऑफ डॅमेज. हां, म्हणजे की डॉक्टरांच्या ह्या कृतीमुळे, असं केल्यामुळेच पेशंटला हा त्रास झालेला आहे, हे पण तिथं कोर्टामध्ये सिद्ध झालं पाहिजे. सो इट शुड बी प्रूव्ड दॅट द डॉक्टर ओड हिम अ ड्युटी conform to a particular standard of conduct, then doctor has breached that duty, the patient suffered the actual damage because of negligence, and doctor's conduct was direct or proximate cause of damage that has occurred to the patient. Now type of cases in which claims for negligence can be made against the doctor. I will just tell you a few examples that you will have to write down when it is asked as a 5-mark short note, professional negligence. So anesthesia in fatal dose means the patient is not dead by hemorrhage, the patient is not dead by any other surgical complication, but complications are because of anesthesia. असे होऊ शकते, पेशंटला ऑपरेशनसाठी भूल दिली, पेशंट भुलीमधून बाहेरच आलं नाही, बिकॉज टू लार्ज डोस or fatal dose of anesthetic will come under negligence. Amputation of wrong finger, मोडले वेगळंच बोट, गँग्रीन भलत्याच बोटाला झालं आहे आणि डॉक्टरनी भलतंच बोट कापलं पेशंट्स, और that will also be a severe negligence. Then failure to do X-ray exam in suspected fracture, that we have already seen. If there is a case of accident and you suspect that patient may have fracture, and if you don't advise the patient X-ray, and in later investigation if the patient has been found to have fracture, that will be considered as negligence. Means failure to do X-ray exam in suspected fracture. Then use of wrong chemicals, that can also lead to लिगल प्रॉब्लेम्स. यूज ऑफ रॉंग केमिकल, मग ते ड्रेसिंग असेल किंवा दुसरी काही केमिकल जी ट्रीटमेंटमध्ये वापरली जातात, एका बाटलीतलं औषध टाकायच्याऐवजी भलतंच काहीतरी औषध टाकले जखमेवर आणि त्याच्यामुळं नेक्रोसिस झालं, गँग्रीन झालं. सो दिस विल ऑल्सो कम अंडर negligence. Then too tight plaster, again that you will study it in detail in third year. टू टाईट प्लास्टर म्हणजे फ्रॅक्चर झाल्यानंतर, हाताला किंवा पायाला फ्रॅक्चर झाल्यानंतर लगेच प्लास्टर करायचं नसतं, बिकॉज फ्रॅक्चरनंतर हाताला पायाला सूज येते, आणि तुम्ही प्लास्टर केल्यानंतर जर हाताला पायाला सूज आली तर काय होईल, म्हणजे समजा आता रेडियस अल्ना फ्रॅक्चर आहे, द पेशंट हॅज गॉट फ्रॅक्चर रेडियस अल्ना, अँड ऑन द व्हेरी फर्स्ट डे पेशंट हॅज बीन ब्रॉट टू यू, यू हॅव डन द एक्सरे अँड यू इमिडिएटली अप्लाइड द प्लास्टर. व्हॉट विल हॅपन आफ्टर द फ्रॅक्चर, द लिंब इज गोइंग टू स्वेल, त्याच्या हाताला खूप सूज येणार आहे, आणि प्लास्टर केल्यानंतर जर हाताला सूज आली, दॅट स्वेलिंग विल कॉम्प्रेस द blood vessels, it will compress the nerves, and patient can develop paralysis or even necrosis or gangrene of the fingers because of too tight plaster or the swelling that has developed after the application of plaster. Inside the plaster there will be swelling and it will compress the nerves or vessels, causing gangrene or even paralysis of the fingers or the wrist. So too tight plasters will also come under negligence. And lack of care in certificates of mental illness, again this is very important thing. While issuing the certificate in case of mental illnesses, doctor should be very cautious, or you should be very careful. Otherwise it can also cause it will come under negligence if the certificates are issued wrongly. Okay, this part we'll see in the next lecture. It's a bit some part is remaining. I'll just revise in short. Okay, I will not discuss again these professional secrets and privileged communication. We have completed it. So professional negligence. Professional negligence is act of commission, act of omission. Act of omission means the thing which is supposed to be done in the treatment of patient. If it is omitted, if it is not done by the doctor, it is called as act of omission. And that is avoiding the X-ray. Then act of commission, doing something which a reasonable man would not do. म्हणजे ऑपरेशनची गरज नसताना जर तुम्ही ऑपरेशन केलं, that will come under act of commission. Doing something which a doctor or which a reasonable man would not do. जे नको करायला पाहिजे, जे नाही करायला पाहिजे ते जर तुम्ही केलं, that will be considered as act of commission. Then professional negligence, we have seen the definition: lack of reasonable care or skill or willful negligence on the part of a doctor in the treatment of patient की ज्याच्यामुळे health or life of the patient is brought into under danger. Okay, I have given an example, the doctor practicing in rural area or in the urban area that we have seen. What is damage? Damage can be physical, mental or financial. Then loss of present and future earning power, actual medical and surgical care cost, they all will come under damage, financial damage. And reduction in the quality of life will also be a big damage for that particular person and to his family. Okay, so this is about professional negligence. In the next lecture we will see the remaining part of the same topic, professional negligence. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you.